And welcome back, everybody. I have our guest for today. Her name is Cherilynn Olivos. She kind of goes by her nickname of Cher, and she's the owner and hormone health advocate for BeBalanced LA. And I've noticed that just in the last few years, as we kind of really explored more women's health, because it's kind of been put on the back burner for many, many years, that a lot of the health issues that women encounter happen to come from a hormone imbalance. And so she's going to be talking to us about all of this and some of the products that she has to try to help you out. So welcome, Cher, to the show. How are you doing today?
Thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm good. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're here. And honestly, I think this is a very important subject to talk about because a lot of us don't even think it could be hormones. I mean, obviously, when you get into the stage of menopause, you think about it more, but this can happen as a child too. And there's really no age limit where it's like taboo from happening. So tell me a little bit about you and how you got into uh, this hormone, balancing hormones and really kind of helping people out with
Yeah, my background is in the medical field. I worked in risk management, operations, compliance in all kinds of healthcare organizations. So I viewed health, in more of a conventional sense, a la carte. You have a heart issue, go to your cardiologist. You have a skin issue, go to your dermatologist. But then I had my son and I felt so out of whack. That I started digging deeper and I found Be Balanced. And I really learned the impact and the need for hormone balancing when it comes to overall wellness, when it comes to women and men too. At the time, I just thought about hormones when it came to producing and having a child, but there's so much more.
Yeah, there truly is. I mean, I've never really come out and talked about this, but I was born intersex as well. So my hormone imbalance was crazy because I produced way too much androgen when I was a baby, and so therefore it gave me messed up um, sexual organs and stuff like that. Even though technically I'm XX chromosome, and I also have the ability to have a baby with a uterus and ovaries. But for the longest time, I didn't physically get to develop, and I was raised as a boy, and so I didn't really develop. And I was 18 when it happened, which from what I understand, because of the hormone indiscrepancies that I was born with, that's pretty common. But I didn't know at the time, and so when I finally found out, I was 18, and um, and that was when I started developing secondary female characteristics. And I was like, "What's going on? This isn't normal." And so what ended up happening was I went to the doctor to find out that I was technically born intersex. I was born biologically female, and I was kind of like in my last like the junior senior year, and I didn't take PE because you have to have it here in Florida to graduate, and I didn't take PE because I could never keep up with the boys. I just was always picked last, and I was just bad at it. I could never compete with them. So I figured, guess what? You cannot sit there and tell a senior no, because most of them are freshmen. So I'm like, I got this. And then I realized dressing out was 50% of my grade. So at the same time, there were going to be things that are going to develop that I now realize I couldn't hide. And so the doctor and my school counselor decided to have put me on testosterone. And testosterone pretty much put me in like a little bit of a little bit of a uh, what do you call it? Developmental stage where it stopped the female hormones, but it enhanced the male ones, but not enough to make me truly male. And so at the same time, I got very sick off of it. And I went into it, actually cost me a lot of my hair. I went into a doctor and they gave me minoxidil and Rogaine. Um, no, it was Propecia and Rogaine, and it cost me to lose more hair. And they're like, "This isn't normal. This is like what happens with females." And I was too embarrassed to say anything. So I ended up losing most of my hair, and I didn't realize how important this was because they told me I would just stop and everything would be fine, and it wasn't. And so it didn't take until a really severe hit to the head that my body reverted itself because it stopped producing as much testosterone. But I have multiple sclerosis from it. I have a lot of other things that I ended up developing when I was born. I have ADHD really bad, and I also have autism. So all of these things kind of came into play with these hormones. And had I known better, I don't think I would have been as sick, or at least not as sick this early in my life. So I understand how bad these things are. And I'm sure you probably heard of stuff like this before too.
Wow. Well, that is a unique case, in terms of like your stage in life. Thank you for sharing that with me. Oh, I can only imagine. Oh my gosh. And the stress of going through that and not knowing. I think that's another added layer versus just the physical aspect of it. Sorry, I'm just processing. That was really big of you to share that. I'm so
Well, see, this is why
sorry.
I like to talk about stuff like this because, a lot of people don't know it and sometimes people don't get involved with it or haven't any understanding, you know? So it's, this is why I believe that hormones are so important because I screwed around with testosterone, uh, to just save my face, I
Mhm.
now am stuck taking hormones for the rest of my life because I screwed myself up. And so I don't know if I'm ever going to be normal. And I have days where I get real sick, and I have days where I get better too. So it's like, it's a constant battle. And it's something if you were starting to feel sick, to look into, or you're just not normal, look into it because it does have a profound impact.
Absolutely. Um, we're seeing it at like we're seeing signs of hormone imbalances at an early age, maybe not as early as you, but it comes up in the looks of like PCOS, endometriosis, irregular periods. So even in your 20s, especially in high stress modes, and when we think about stress, let's consider the processed foods that are stressing out our bodies and emotional stresses, cell phones. Teenagers are on cell phones, so our bodies are just getting even more out of whack. And unfortunately, the main go-to is birth control, birth control. And that's a form of HRT, or it's a form of hormone replacement therapy. So you're not the only one who has been on hormone replacement therapy forever. We don't view birth control as that, but I often see women being on birth control for 20, 30 years because it was the go-to for painful periods when they were 15, and now they're having gut issues. And um, actually, someone had like MS as well. So there's a lot that impacts not just our nervous system, but overall health. And then physicians are coming in, or the medical industry is now putting ladies on hormone replacement therapy for menopause. So you're talking about being on that type of therapy your whole life. A lot of us women don't know that we are on a certain version of it. And especially with the GLPs, the weight loss injections, that's another form of chemical modification of your hormones. So,
And
yeah, it's all around.
I've seen this even linked to heart disease, cancers, other types of things as well.
That is a big one. Specifically with the hormone replacement therapy, there's so many studies that support that it does cause cancer, certain female related cancers, ER positive, ovarian cancer. Yeah.
And how do you, how would you even start to understand that maybe I need to do this? Maybe I need to look into this. When do you tell your doctor?
We have a different stance. We're not all about synthetic hormone replacement therapy. Instead, we're really big on natural hormone balancing and supporting your body's natural ability to produce hormones.
I like that
This is,
better.
yeah, our proprietary formulas are all about that. And that's with lifestyle choices, the right foods for your body, and our natural supplementation. Plus, we have our version of hormone balancing creams, but no testosterone, no estrogen, because again, with our conservative approach, those are stimulatory hormones. And, you know, as you mentioned, it could cause havoc if you're not taking in the right amount. So that's just such a high risk to take in, yeah, chemically based testosterone, estrogen. I mean, Also, to each their own. I am all for helping people just feel better and live their best lives. But what I love about BeBalanced is that there's so much research and study and science-backed approaches to the way we do things. And it's been around since 2008. So we've seen people not get cancer on our stuff and continue to, you can just see it in their symptoms. Their nervous system is improved, their energy, brain fog, weight, a lot of that is in balance because we naturally balance their hormones.
And that's important. And I know the other thing that you probably do, especially with synthetics, is weight gain. And weight gain is stress. And it's always the cortisol. I mean, women are always like, I can't get rid of that little pooch. That's where it's coming from, for the most part, for the stress and hormone imbalance. Does this also help reduce weight loss and stuff like that?
Totally. I mean, that's what we're marketed as, Be Balanced Natural Hormone Weight Loss. It's a billion-dollar industry, but we're way more than weight loss. So, what we do, we provide a metabolic reset. Let's reset your gut, your hormones. And with our most popular program, women can lose 15 to 22 pounds in the first month because we're combating stress. Just as you said, that cortisol hormone is out of whack and it pulls from our progesterone levels. As women, we need progesterone to burn fat, to feel calm, to feel happy, to sleep better. Um, yeah, and that's really like what we're lacking.
It truly is. And a lack of sleep can really cause a lot of other problems too. It's not just being tired or whatever, but a lot of times when we do feel like that, the first go to is like Monster Energies and Red Bulls, lots of caffeine, and that has a negative impact on you too. I mean, technically it's still a drug and it can kind of cause other issues, but um it's trying to figure out that that is actually part of the problem. So maybe we shouldn't just go to that. We should maybe look at, like you said, lifestyle changes, hormone balancing, stuff like that.
Yeah, I often see a negative feedback loop. We're busy, we're doing so much. Well, I need energy. I'm too tired because I didn't sleep. I have a lot of inflammation going on. I'm getting into menopause, whatever. So then let's have some caffeine, monster drinks. Oh, and then it causes issues with our gut. So then we get cravings. So let me have some cake. Let me have some ice cream. I need a sugar rush, which also impacts our serotonin, our dopamine. So we're constantly looking for that unhealthy fix. And it's just worsening the hormone imbalances as we get older, especially as we're trying to manage everything. So that negative feedback loop just gets worse and worse with age.
Now we do know that in all technicality, it doesn't really happen to younger kids as much as it does adults. When is a general time frame when this might actually start to impact you?
I sometimes see it as early as college years with certain women. PCOS, that is a big one. There's something you can do about it. Yeah, especially with women who've been on birth control since their teens, um, especially like certain type, maybe estrogen based. I can see it as early as teens and like 20s, actually in both males and females. If maybe they had a lot of stress or they held a lot of weight, again, in their midsection, that's inflammation, that's stress, a lot of processed foods. We all have different food triggers. There's no like one size fits all. But if you don't know your food triggers and you're just constantly eating it, even at 16, 15, maybe your body's just, you're really working your immune system, and that is just showing as early as those years.
What about other things like natural things that we can't control, like our gender, our even race or ethnic backgrounds or anything like that? Can that also cause things like that that impact your hormones?
Sure, genetic makeup plays a big role, plus cultural background, society, um, and yeah, emotional, mental stress. Yeah, just certain practices also play like a huge impact. I take it all in. Some clients, they were talking about their cultural pressures to eat during like family festivities, and it's really heavy with like bread and rice, and I'm going to be judged if I don't eat it. So there are a lot of like layers there to take into account.
So let's kind of go over a little bit more of the product. What products do you offer and what do they do?
We have a full line of naturally derived supplementation. They're professional grade, but I don't jump there. Instead, I go into some of our programs. Our programs either focus on your gut or metabolic reset, which also takes into your gut. And yeah, so first I usually skip the supplementation. If you're looking to lose weight, let's either look at your gut or let's look at your overall makeup and see where your hormone imbalances are. Is it your thyroid, insulin, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, or is it all of the above? So if it's all of the above, let's not treat your body like a la carte. Let's look at it as a whole. And that is where the balance like starts. So that's our Becoming Balanced program. You lose 15 to 22 pounds because we're balancing those five key hormones and getting rid of your candida yeast overgrowth, which is a big gut issue that comes up. And then we have a couple other gut programs that just focus on your gut if everything else is going well. We also have again, our version of our hormone balancing creams. They're backed by empirical evidence, and they're special because they have a pulsatile time release. So when it comes to hormones, no matter what practice you have or what kind you have, if you're having a huge surge of hormones hitting you, it can cause side effects. But our hormone balancing creams are naturally derived. They support your progesterone and your adrenal glands in making enough cortisol for you.
It's interesting how everything that we literally touch in our lives, it can impact all of this, from stress to the way we eat, the things we do, to the way we think. And it's actually, it can actually be really, really, how can I say, it can be daunting and like, kind of stressful for us to even think about that. How do we control all that in our daily lives? But at the same time, it's something that we can't fix. With all the people that you've been talking to and working with all these years, what has been the average period of time when people really start to see a difference after starting the programs or the supplements that you offer? Anything?
Oh, everyone feels a difference within days or within a week of starting our Becoming Balanced program. Um, the other supplements, the creams, it can take longer. It can take like 2 months. It is slower. Um, so people won't really feel it. But those supplements, if needed, usually come in after our Becoming Balanced program because I don't know, let's say you needed magnesium for sleep, but now you don't after being balanced, then we don't really need to go there. Now let's look at your body 2.0. Maybe your food allergies have improved. Maybe you're not having energy issues or sleep issues or skin issues. Your skin cleared up. So that's why we have to assess those little needs after we've done a full metabolic reset. It's hard to judge you if you're still imbalanced because if you're still in balance and we're giving you like magnesium or other like a B12, then we're just putting a band-aid and we're not looking at the root cause of these issues.
So, one of the things I'd like to discuss is obviously you're probably in, I'm going to say California.
Yeah, I'm in LA.
What if somebody over here wants to take you up and have you evaluate? Do they have to go to California? Can you do online consults? How does it
Oh, we do our so many consults, visits over the phone or via Zoom. Yeah, we have clients all over the US, so totally feasible.
work? Good, because I know people are going to be asking about that. And since we got about 2 minutes left, tell everybody how they can find you, where they can see success stories, where they could uh, buy your products, whatever else it would be important for them to follow their journey.
Yeah, you can follow us on multiple mediums, but on Instagram, you'll find a lot, Be Balanced LA. Check out our testimonials. If you don't believe me, like these are women and men who've really transformed their lives. And for other info, you could also go to BeBalancedLA.com, book a free consult. It doesn't hurt, just get checked out. At the very least, you're going to find out more about what's going on with your body. Follow your intuition. I'm really big on that. And I just love giving info to try to disrupt the norm. Um, of how we take care of ourselves and how we show up and how we shouldn't tolerate feeling bloated and having low energy and mood issues. Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's totally feasible.
Well, I love that your product is all natural. I always tend to gravitate towards that type of solution for anything, even when I'm sick, having more natural solutions. And I know that it does me really well, and I think it'll do other people a lot of good as well. We always think that the answer is in a pill, and it's not. And I actually controlled my MS simply by going through acupuncture and drinking like this weird tea, and it did a great job. It put me in remission, and I've been in remission for a year. So you know, these do work. These
Yeah.
absolutely. But thank you for so much for coming on and talking about your product and talking about um, health issues that we may not even think is the root cause of a lot of our symptoms. So um, again, thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your product.
Thank you. And thank you for being so open and shedding light here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great.
Absolutely. And guys, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We do have to pay our bills, but we'll be back at about 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.